So on that, I'm going to then read our open rules. Thanks to all of you who want to share your thoughts and ideas with us during open time. Before we start, I want to provide an abbreviated version of the open time board rules. All individuals wishing to speak may call in before noon the day of the meeting to be placed on the agenda, or can sign up at the board meeting prior to the open time. I will be calling on the people on the sign-up list only. Open time for public input shall not exceed a total of 15 minutes, with a time limit to be allocated by myself, the president. Please watch the timer up here to be considerate of others to speak, and stay within your allotted time. During open time, public testimony will be given without debate, and only clarifying questions from the board will be allowed. Two types of items not appropriate for open time in order to protect the privacy of all are pending litigation and personnel issues. Please refrain from commenting on specific personnel issues. We do not tolerate discriminatory and or harassing words directed at anyone. So please ensure that all your comments you make tonight comply with the policy. The board made the decision many years ago to operate under Robert's Rules of Order. Under Robert's Rules of Order, the ceding of time to another person is not allowed. So only those signed up on this to speak may only speak for their own allotted amount of time. We also request that each speaker provide his or her address and name. And we have 8 people, so I'm going to ask 2 minutes each for each one. The first person is Dale Hume, and after that, then is Brandon Arneson. Are you here? Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Dale Hume. I live at 4230 Colfax Avenue North, and I am the executive director of New Directions Youth Ministry, which entered into a donation agreement with the Minneapolis Parks on April 24th, 2024, for the purpose of raising funds for building an outdoor refrigerated ice rink at North Commons Park. And the reason I'm here tonight is that the campaign committee felt that it would be a good idea to inform you as to the progress of this project. An architect was secured, JLG Architects, to carry out the Phase 1 work as it's outlined in the donation agreement. And the Minneapolis Foundation has been entered into an agreement with to handle the money for this. The name was changed to Sports Pavilion because we felt, or Outdoor Sports Pavilion, it seemed like the major, well, because more of it's actually going to be used for other purposes than the ice rink. There will be 3 basketball courts on the concrete surface. But the emphasis seemed to be outdoors, the use of the outdoors, both for ice skating and for other sports. So it's an outdoor sports pavilion. The funding for Phase 1 work was successfully obtained on October 14th and includes a donation of $16,500 by the architects. This phase focuses on gathering community feedback and liaison efforts led by Damaris Hollingsworth and her firm, Milo by Design. It also covers critical preparatory work, including reviewing soil tests, title and zoning requirements, and creating preliminary drawings, renderings, and a cost estimate. The design will accommodate a refrigerated rink with a canopy for winter skating and hockey, as well as 3 high school basketball courts for summer use. The outstanding concern is that current areas of focus include assessing budget cuts for value engineering, particularly regarding mechanical spaces for the refrigeration and the Zamboni, and considering upgrades to the warming room, which at the present size is too small. So those are concerns at the present time that we have. I have brought some one-page handouts.
Yep, you can just hand them over to our communications director, Selmers, please. She's right over here. Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you so much. The next person is Brendan, and then after that is Sarah Renner.
Hey there, I'm Brandon Arneson, live at 26th Street Northeast, Minneapolis, and I guess winter must be coming up because I'm going to talk about ice rinks too. So I've lived in and played hockey in Northeast Minneapolis for over 20 years, and I understand the park board is considering cutting outdoor ice at Wyndham Park as part of a proposed budget plan, and I'm here to speak in support of outdoor ice access in Northeast Minneapolis. Growing up, hockey was always something I felt was ingrained in my local community, but not always prioritized at the city level. I frequented the ice arenas at Victory Memorial, Waite Park, and Wyndham. The former two no longer serve the community and have contributed to a growing inequality of ice access. I saw friends and neighbors leave Northeast to play hockey in suburbs with more availability. Now, due to park board efforts and programs like the Titans, there's a growing number of youth playing hockey in Northeast. Free, accessible outdoor ice is an essential component of this. I know that the park board believes that recreation accessibility and involvement is a core component of holistic growth in our communities. By keeping outdoor ice at Wyndham Park, we'll be allowing those values to thrive. Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. And then after that is Andy Benedict, I think it is. Sarah, are you here? Oh, great. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak. My name is Sarah Renner. I live at 401 South First Street, Minneapolis 55401. And I am here because I would just like to encourage the board to support the amendment that has been proposed that would enlist both an ordinance and a policy measure to keep cannabis use, especially if it's smoking, keep cannabis use out of the parks, because I feel that mind-altering anything, even mild, relatively mild ones, it just don't belong in public parks. And also, so many people are terribly sensitive to the smoke. And I think it would be an easy ordinance to support publicly, because we already prohibit alcohol, both sales, I believe, and use in the parks to begin with. And I feel that the keeping the cannabis to private use or use outside of the parks is really the best way to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy, and then after that is Abby Van Goren, I think. Sorry for the pronunciation. Welcome, Andy.
Hi, thanks. Andy Benedict, 2537 Brighton Avenue Northeast. Also here to talk about ice rinks a little bit, more so from the standpoint of just a parent with kids in the neighborhood looking for things to do in the wintertime. Northeast Minneapolis had three things I thought about when I looked at the proposal of where things were getting closed. The first one, just the locations of the closures, looking at Northeast Minneapolis where we reside in particular. Removing that rink really makes it, there's a fair distance up there then between a place for the kids to go. More so than if you look at the closures that'll happen in the south. The other thing to think about is there's no other bodies of water for kids to play and skate on up here. We have lakes around the cities and different areas where kids can get outside and play on the ice, and they don't necessarily have that opportunity in that part of the area. So I would recommend, if possible, I'd love to keep them all open. I know that's not necessarily always an option, but as you're considering the opportunities. Last thing, that part of the city, small houses, lots of kids, mental health of the parents in the wintertime, they need someplace to go. So I'm just saying. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Abby, and after that is Jared Luca. Abby here. Great. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I will also be speaking as a parent who lives in Northeast Minneapolis. I'm Abby Van Goren. I reside at 1942 Ulysses Street Northeast. Every November for the past 10 years, my family and neighbors start watching for the most reliable sign that winter is coming. That is the plywood and the frames for the ice hockey rink in Wyndham Park. And that is the first sign. The second sign is the faithful crew that go out and start spraying for the rink. When we start seeing that, we start rubbing our hands together. Yes, soon the ice rink will be open. This has been true for us as a family for 10 years, but it's been true for much longer than we've been there. It is an essential part of our neighborhood. It is an expression of our joyous community. It is an essential place for conviviality. We really need this place. It's been the site of birthday parties of kids in the room that I know. It is, like that dad said, a mental health issue for the parents and the kids. And my children learned at this skating rink on borrowed skates, which are provided by the warming house, how to skate. We have soup and skate parties where we all bring soup and we enjoy the rink together. We love watching the hockey and broomball matches, which are numerous and constant. I think it's really important to say, too, that it's a space used by Rec Plus from nearby Pillsbury, which enables families from all different socioeconomic backgrounds to have access to good, safe play outdoors after school. And seeing this ice rink close would close down a real vital nexus that we share. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Jared, and then after that is Angie Colbert, and we just have a few minutes before we have our public hearing.
Thanks for letting me speak. My name is Jared Luca. I live at 2627 Ulysses. I'm also speaking about ice. I want to second what everybody has said, but one of the big things that I thought about was just the how much more time our kids are spending in front of screens, indoors, sitting down, not exercising, and not just being out with their friends. And I think that's the role of the parks, is to get people moving. And so I think having ice that kids can walk to on their own with their friends, that they can hang out in a safe space, not with their parents hovering around and doing things, but being able to gather, laugh, be outside, move their bodies. I really think that, like Andy was saying, the closest now would be Logan, I believe, and that's quite a ways away for kids if they need a ride, which is just a heavier lift for parents to get them there, and most likely they're going to be at home. So that's all I really wanted to say. It's a great community space. I think without it, we just don't talk to our neighbors as much being indoors. So thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you. Angie, and then after that is Mitchell Hansen. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Angie Corbett. I live at 2550 Hayes. And I also want to talk about Wyndham Park. Everything that they've said is true. And I really believe if any of you were to go to Wyndham Park in the winter and skate, you would never consider closing it. It is magical. There are people from all over. There's hockey games going on, broomball games, kids learning to skate, and it's where my two kids learned to skate. And I really encourage you to keep it open. With this closure, there would only be one ice rink in all of Northeast Minneapolis, and you can't say that about any other region of the city. Every other region would have more than one. And so I think it's essential that we keep Wyndham Park open for ice. Thank you.
Thank you. Mitchell Hansen.
Hello, thank you for letting me speak. Just want to kind of echo what everyone's saying here. I think it's kind of difficult when you have to pin people who like skating, kids who need like extended hours, who actually need these rec centers, all these, people that want to walk their dogs in the park without a fence, which I'm still curious about that, what's going to happen to the land south of that, whether or not that's turned into offsets, I guess we'll see. But I think that cutting any hours, debating anything with youth, when you're spending like $60,000 on goat browsing services, literally goats, for buckthorn, that's more important. Things like that are more important than kids. How is this a historic youth investment? Like, I'd love to know. It's pretty like low bar for historic then. But everyone deserves to have an opportunity that they've had that they enjoy doing, especially kids that need, cutting any hours. So you're going to cut hours to the program to extend it. It's still confusing to me. All I know is that anything that cuts hours for children will lead to more poor behavior. That's what you do. We've all been children. That's what you do. You don't have anything to do, you get in trouble, unless you're a really good kid. Maybe that's just me, But, yeah, I think that's kind of common sense. So I highly urge just to go through the contracts that the park board has. Looking at, there's some money that's gone unspent. There's money that's for ridiculous things that we don't need at all. And they all go to the same people. To me, it's just like to think of all these claims about youth and how little attention is given to them is just gross. Like, there's like maybe a couple commissioners that seem to actually care. The rest is like environmental services and benefiting downtown interests. Like, that's what matters. Undeveloped parks are non-existent parks. And I know Commissioner Schaefer really wants that to happen, and she's doing her job because she's representing the people that voted her in. But that doesn't help us all. That just makes her a good commissioner for where she lives. Thanks.
Thank you. Closing then our open time